You should have won because that was emotional.
Alright, secant and cosecant. These are reciprocals of sine and cosine. These are probably the easiest ones to graph, or at least in my opinion. But you still have to be able to find the x-axis, which is what you guys struggle with, I think, the most. Alright, secant. Period is 2 pi divided by b. So, period for this, 2 pi divided by 2. So, period pi. The only ones that are not 2 pi are tangent and cotangent. Okay? Alright, secant asymptotes are at negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So that's what you set the x part equal to. Okay, now if I solve, divide by 2 or multiply by its reciprocal. So same thing on this one. Okay, so negative pi over 4 and pi over 4. Okay, now, before you get all happy with your graph drawing it, what do you notice about these two asymptotes? Do you notice anything? Does that put them close together on the graph?
They're on either side of the y-axis.
Okay. How big is the period? We just found it. How long is the period?
Pi.
Pi. Is this distance here pi?
Sure.
No. That's half of a period. That's pi over 2. So you actually, on all of these, you will have 3 asymptotes to have a full period. So if I want 2 full periods,
It's a 5.
5. Yep.
So we want 2 whole periods on
Yep.
this.
Every time you graph, you're going to have 2 whole periods. Okay, well if a period is pi, and I was at negative pi over 4, if I add pi, I'm at 3 pi over 4.
Stop, please.
Okay, and how much does a period get divided into? 4s. So if I take my period, divide by 4, I'm counting by 4s. All of these between your hash marks or your asymptotes, those only get divided in half. And you're actually only going to have 1 point in between each one. So if I'm counting by pi over 4, then I would be at 0. Then pi over 4 plus pi over 4, that's 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. If I add pi over 4, I'm at 3 pi over 4. Add again, I'm at 4 pi over 4, which is pi. Then 5 pi over 4. 6 pi over 4, which is 3 pi over 2. And then 7 pi over 4. That's not 14, that's 4. Okay, you do 1 point in between each one. If the point is above your changing line, which is usually an x-axis, then it makes a smiley face. Below makes a frowny face, and they alternate. Okay, I don't know which one you're going to start with, but whatever it is, they alternate. Okay? Alright, which one goes with secant, sine or cosine? Cosine. Okay, and secant's reciprocal. So if I plug in 0, 2 times 0 is 0, cosine of 0 is 1, what's the reciprocal of 1? So this point's up here. Is that above or below the line?
Above.
So you make it a smiley face. Then pi over 2. 2 times pi over 2, that would be pi. Cosine of pi, so if I look at cosine over here, x is negative 1. What's the reciprocal of negative 1? Negative 1. There's nothing else to multiply by, so I'm down here. And that's below, so it goes
Down.
down. So where do you think the next one's gonna go?
Up.
It'll be at 1 and go up. And then the other one is at -1 and it goes down.
Is it ever like on the top and it goes down? Like that's not like a thing, right?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Now, it could be the first one starts down, but if it's up here, it's gonna go up. The only time that could happen where it could be above this but go down is if your graph's been shifted like up.
Okay.
Okay, because then you'd have, if it was shifted like up 3, the one above that would go up, but the one below it would go down.
Okay. Do you understand?
I think those are easier than tangent, cotangent, but maybe you disagree.
If this, the x-axis.
Especially if you know your sines and your cosines.
Say 2. This is
Okay, cosecant.
is
Last one.
above
Period 2 pi,
the-
divide by number in front of x.
I understand.
So my period would be 6 pi. Co 0, so cosecant, we're gonna set equal to 0 and equal to pi. And multiply by 3. So x equals 0, and x equals 3 pi. Good. I don't know why I'm going so high, because you only need to go to 2, but. Okay, so I have my first asymptote at 0. Then I'm gonna have one at 3 pi. But remember, this is just half of a period. Because how long is a full period? 6 pi. So this is really going from 0 to 6 pi. That's one full period. And then each period is divided into 4s. So each part between the asymptote just gets split in half. So 6 pi divided by 4, you're gonna count by 3 pi over 2. So we are at 0, then I'm at 3 pi over 2. Then I was at 6 pi over 2, which is 3 pi. Then I'm at 9 pi over 2. 12 pi over 2, which was 6 pi. And then 15 pi over 2. 18 pi over 2 is 9 pi. 21 pi over 2. And then 24 pi over 2 would be 12 pi. Okay, then 3 pi over 2 times 1/3 would be pi over 2. So we're thinking about the point up here. And cosecant's reciprocal is sine. So sine's 1, the reciprocal of 1 would be 1. So this is going to be up here. And it's above it, so it goes up. Where do you think the next point's going to be at?
-1.
-1. Okay, so just like with sine and cosine, if you can figure out where they are, they're the equidistance away. So like if I was at 2, so 2 away from that, then the next one's going to be at -2. So then I would be at 1, and I would be at -1.